Hello, Lexizzle here, and today we're going to be talking about another Disney World hotel. Last time I did a video like this, I talked about Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, which is a moderate resort that I've gone to quite a bit. And in that video, I had mentioned that I was going to go to Art of Animation in 2025. Well, that trip came and went, and today I figured I'd talk about my experience there and why I think you should consider going to Art of Animation as well. Before we get into the actual video itself, I just wanted to say that that trip was super fun. I'm glad we got to stay there, and I had the time of my life with my friend Sam, who's most likely going to be watching this video, so I love Sam Wise, I love you! But also, if I tend to go to more Disney hotels in the future, I probably will make videos about it. Even now, in 2026, I'm going to Disney again, but we'll be staying at Pop Century, so I'm sure I'll do a video about that either later on this year or next year. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's talk about the Art of Animation. The Art of Animation is one of Disney World's value resort hotels. It opened on May 31st of 2012, and it's connected to Pop Century Resort, and it is right next to Caribbean Beach Resort. This resort is also close to Hollywood Studios, and Epcot isn't too far away, but it's not as close as Hollywood Studios. The original building used to be home to the Epcot Center Ultralight Flight Park, which I guess used to be a private airport for Epcot. It was supposed to be a second phase to the Pop Century Resort, but sadly, the 9/11 terrorist attacks happened and tourism went down, stopping the project as a whole. But after creating the All-Star hotels a decade later, Disney decided to create something similar to this abandoned building, and thus the Art of Animation was born. The areas in this hotel are themed with families in mind, hence they use 4 classic Disney films: The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, Finding Nemo, and Cars. Around these areas are giant statues of characters from each film, and I honestly think it's super cute. Now, most of these rooms have family suites, but there is one building that is for smaller parties, which we'll get into that at one point of the video. As far as transportation goes, this hotel has buses, but also a Skyliner port that's connected to Pop Century, which is another thing we'll talk about later in the video. For other activities, the hotel has a gift shop, an arcade, and 3 separate pools, 2 normal pools at the Little Mermaid and Cars areas, and 1 big themed pool at the Finding Nemo area. Around this area is also a bar called the Drop-Off Pool Bar. I sadly didn't get to try this bar, but with my experience at this hotel, I'll make sure to try it again when I book another trip at that resort. So just like the Caribbean Beach Resort video, I'm going to be giving my pros and cons based on certain things, which are transportation, hotel setup, and I'm also just going to put theming on there too because they just work so well together, pricing, food and drink, and entertainment. So let's go ahead, like the last video, start with transportation. Earlier I had mentioned that the Art of Animation has 2 sets of transportation, the buses and the Skyliner. The bus transportation was honestly not that bad. In fact, I think the only time I really had to wait for a bus to arrive in a long line was when Sam and I were going to the Typhoon Lagoon H2O After Hours event. But unlike Caribbean Beach Resort, there is only 1 bus stop, and it's right by the entrance of the resort. So I think if you're staying at the Finding Nemo area, it's not going to be that long of a walk at all. I think the same thing could be said for the Lion King area. If you're staying there or Finding Nemo, it's not going to be that big of a hassle. But if you're staying in the Cars area, and if you're especially staying at the Little Mermaid area, it's going to be a bit of a walk. And for a trip where you're constantly on your feet, your feet might be in pain and it might be killer. As for the Skyliner, which I mentioned are gondolas that'll take you to Hollywood Studios and Epcot, that could be a different story. The Skyliner is right past the Finding Nemo pool and is a shared terminal with the Pop Century Resort. In my Caribbean Beach Resort video, I had mentioned that I loved the Skyliner and I think it's an easy way to get to the parks. Personally, I wish there were terminals for Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, but they're a bit further away, so I can see why they don't do that, but that's literally how much I love it. However, the terminal at this resort is much smaller, and if you're rope dropping, you're gonna have to wait in line, which for Sam was no biggie since this was her first time, but for me, the rope dropper, I was stressing big time, especially for the day we were going to Epcot. We didn't rope drop Hollywood Studios, but we tried rope dropping Epcot, and I was very stressed out. But once you get on the Skyliner, it'll take you straight to the Caribbean Beach Termini, which is a much faster way to get to the resorts and also the main base of where the Skyliner is. So you could just take one to go straight to Hollywood, or you could take the other one that'll take you to the Riviera and then go straight to Epcot. And the Termini is just on its own. It's bigger and it's not shared with other resorts. So it's gonna get you to the parks much faster than this Termini. You're not waiting in any line. And if you are, it's only for like a few seconds. So as much as I didn't have a problem most of the time with transportation, I think the transportation aspect of Art of Animation is a con. I just wish the terminal for Art of Animation was bigger, but I don't know if they have the space to make it bigger because it is in the middle of the lake that's in between both resorts, and I don't know if that'll do any damage to any wildlife that is living in said lake. But next, let's go talk about the hotel setup and the theming. As mentioned before, there are 4 areas that you could stay at: Finding Nemo, Cars, Lion King, and Little Mermaid. Art of Animation as a whole has a total of 1,984 rooms, and 1,120 of them are family suites. 3 out of the 4 areas are interior walkway suites, with the Little Mermaid area being the only exterior walkway with standard rooms. When you first walk into the resort and go outside, the first area you'll see is the Finding Nemo area. You'll immediately see the pool and the poolside bar, but the buildings to the sides are the interior walkways to enter the suites. If you walk further down past the pool, you'll not only find a little playground for the kids, but also the Skyliner terminal. Then if you continue to your right from the main entrance, you'll find the Cars area of the resort. If you take a left, then there's the Lion King area, which when we did walk by there, we saw that there was a little area for kids to play checkers, as well as the area where they usually do the campfire and the movies at night. But if you walk further past the Lion King area and keep going down, you'll then enter the Little Mermaid area. Like I mentioned before, throughout these areas there are giant statues of the characters from each movie. We didn't get to see much of the Cars figures because we didn't really get to walk near that area, but we did see the Finding Nemo statues as we were walking towards the Skyliner. And we did get to see the Little Mermaid ones, which honestly was a shocker to me because there were normal sized ones like the rest of the resort, and then you had a big one of Ariel, of King Triton, and Ursula that were impressive but huge. But honestly, our favorite area with the statues was the Lion King area. There are so many photo-worthy spots to take pictures with, and I just thought it was so cool. There are signs everywhere that say not to climb on these statues, but we did see a fair share of families climb on Rafiki. Do better.
Hey, you better knock it off.
I think the theme as a whole is super fun, especially if you're traveling with kiddos that are obsessed with Disney. So I definitely think theming is a pro. As far as the layout of the resort, if you're staying at a suite, I think you'll be okay. Cars might be a bit of a walk for you, but if you're staying at the Little Mermaid area, it is definitely going to be a walk from everything. And I kind of wish there was another bus station for specifically the Little Mermaid area. But other than that, I would say mainly the hotel setup and theming is a pro. So next we're going to talk about pricing. Art of Animation is a value resort hotel, so it can be financially helpful for families that want to plan a trip with their loved ones. I think especially for like big family trips, they're going to mainly want to stay at this one. I still have everything saved from when I went this past year with my friend Sam, and it honestly was a really nice deal. After planning our trip for this year, it is definitely the most expensive out of all the value resorts. When Sam and I went in 2025, we stayed there for a whole week. So we got the package deal since it included our park tickets, and in general, I think if you're gonna go to Disney for a week or longer, you should definitely get the package deal. It's just going to be so nice and includes your tickets with it, so you don't have to worry about anything when you arrive. But our total for just the 2 of us with our package deals was a total of $3,036.33. Now looking at it again with adding 2 more people to our group, we found out that it was going to be $4,614.52. We're planning to go around the same time that we went this past year and found that it was actually better for us to stay at Pop Century for a grand total of $4,295.04. And we ended up saving $319.48 staying at Pop Century than staying at Art of Animation. But I also have to say, if you are planning to go on a trip and they do offer special deals for certain dates, definitely take advantage of that, because we booked ours during the time where they were offering 2 free nights and 6 park tickets. And our grand total for the 4 of us to stay in our hotel room was $3,395.86. So it was even cheaper for us to stay at Pop Century than Art of Animation. But of course, that special was going on for all the hotels, so it would have gone through Art of Animation. But for those who don't care and just want to know the standard price, typically a room at the Art of Animation for a standard room is $293.33 a night. And for the suites, it ranges in between $592.67 to $646.17 a night. Now, I did rewatch my Caribbean Beach Resort video before recording and writing this video down, and I did see a standard room with the package deal was close to $1,000 more than it would have been to stay at Art of Animation. And Caribbean Beach Resort is a moderate hotel. So I personally think that pricing for Art of Animation is a pro. Granted, just remember, it's the most expensive out of all the value resort hotels, but it is still such a nice price. So food and drink. For meals, snacks, and drinks, there's the Landscape of Flavors, a huge dining area for every meal. It's open every day from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., and it offers a huge variety of food. It's mainly American food, but there's areas where you can get some pasta, nachos, and even ramen. Sam and I ate like queens there, especially during breakfast. I love me a good Mickey waffle, so the waffle bounty platter was the bomb.com for me. They had some waffles themed after characters from the areas of the hotel. I think I got either Ariel or Flounder, as well as Simba and Dory each time I ate there. At the time of writing this, I don't think I got a Cars waffle, but then again, I'm thinking maybe there was a waffle where I got Lightning McQueen. I can't remember. Sam, however, was a huge fan of the loaded tacho bowl. I think she got that almost every morning, and honestly, I think every morning we woke up, she looked forward to having a bowl. She's actually messaging me right now as we speak.
Ding dong.
But yeah, no, I don't blame her. It looked delicious. Of course, there was also dessert that I wish I had, but a girl was full from the popcorn at Magic Kingdom. The dessert stand also has some fridges to grab some pre-made quick meals like sandwiches and croissants, and even some drinks as well. Outside from the Landscape of Flavors was the drop-off pool bar. And again, I didn't go in there, but I kind of wish I did. Or they do offer food here that does look super good, but the drinks also look amazing. Like the Big Blue Ocean or the Sunshine Margarita. Lexi would likey. So if you're traveling to the parks looking for fun food to eat or traveling with picky eaters, I think this hotel will work for both. I do kind of wish they had a Joffrey's kiosk like they do at the Caribbean Beach Resort, but I really can't complain much because I don't think I had much coffee when I went. Outside of the one day at Epcot, I think I asked for a coffee and a donut. But food and drink, I would say, is a pro. Then last but not least, we have entertainment. This hotel has a total of 3 pools, which the Big Blue Pool at the Finding Nemo area just happens to be the largest swimming pool in all of Walt Disney World. Which is crazy to me because you're telling me it's bigger than Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. But for those that either don't want to swim, want to do other activities, or are saving the swimming for the water parks, don't fret, because there's other stuff to do as well. Of course, if you're a shopper like me, there's the ink and paint shop, the Art of Animation's gift shop. It's a pretty big gift shop with a ton to offer, and it actually helped me figure out what I wanted to buy at the parks and at Disney Springs before I ended up purchasing them at the gift shop on the day that we were leaving. The resort also has a jogging trail for those that want to get their workout done while they're vacationing, and you could also see the fun statues while you're jogging. Now for kiddos, there is the Pixel Arcade that's right by the main lobby. It's a bit tinier than I thought, but can still be loads of fun for kiddos. And like I mentioned before, the Finding Nemo area has a playground. Then finally, like every hotel in the parks, the Art of Animation has the Movie Under the Stars activity, as well as campfire stuff, which we walked past, I think when we were coming home from Disney Springs before the Halloween party, and found out that that's not free. You do in fact have to pay for that campfire, and I think that's bogus. You could also fish at the lake that's in between Art of Animation and Pop Century, so if you just wanted to do some fishing, well, there you go. I think given that this hotel is a value resort, there is still so much to do. I honestly would give entertainment as a whole a pro. Also, bonus fun fact, the Art of Animation is a dog-friendly hotel. So if you wanted to travel to Disney World with your doggo, you could stay at the Art of Animation. You still can't bring them to the parks, but you could at least bring them to your hotel. Overall, I think there are a lot of pros with this hotel than there are cons. It's more of a family-friendly place, and it's fairly reasonably priced compared to the other hotels in Disney World. But do keep in mind that it is the most expensive Valley Resort between all the Valley Resorts. And if you're a big rope dropper like me and you don't want to be late, I think you'll be fine taking the bus to Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, but taking the Skyliner to Epcot and Hollywood Studios is going to be stressful. And there aren't really a lot of buses that can take you to Epcot and Hollywood Studios because of the fact that they have the Skyliners, so keep that in mind too. But with that in mind, I still think Art of Animation is a wonderful hotel and that you should really consider staying there when you book your next trip. But that is the end of this video today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of my stuff, hit the subscription button. And if you want to get notified every time I post a video, go ahead and hit the notification bell. I really hope that, I can see every Disney hotel that I could possibly stay at. I know the more luxury ones is going to be pretty hard to do because they're luxury hotels, but it would be fun to do videos on those too. And I can't wait to do my video on Pop Century Resort after I go in September this year. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.